Hey, distance learners. So we are going to be talking about greatness today. What makes greatness, and what does that criteria tell us about a culture of a society? So go ahead and just kind of think about what qualities do you think makes somebody in history great, and think about somebody you know or believe exhibits qualities of greatness, and why would you consider that person to be great? You like Jeopardy music? Do, 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 do. All right, we're going to go ahead and just kind of walk through a few people that our society considers great. As we look, think about who you would consider great and maybe what that tells us about American society. So you may have recognized some of those people. You might have some people on there that you didn't even know. That's okay. Think about kind of what our society values based on who we consider as great. All right, so we're going to be talking about Alexander the Great. And as you can probably already tell, there's going to be some cases where he looks really, really great, and some cases where he doesn't do so great. It kind of depends on your perspective. So the Greeks think that he was awesome because Alexander was from the Greek Empire. The Persians, on the other hand, they don't think he's so awesome because he kind of defeated and took over their empire. So they probably don't think he's so great. What you guys are going to be doing is you're going to be looking through some primary sources to record evidence of how Alexander is great and not so great. The evidence is on Google Classroom. Just go ahead and make a little T-chart and have one column be for greatness, one column not so greatness. And then you're going to summarize your findings in a Padlet. So if you go to Google Classroom, you'll open up this PLC Alexander readings, and this is like a big long document. Okay, you don't have to go through each and every page, like go all the way down to page. This is kind of a summary, a background, if you want to read that. But you could go all the way down to page 6 or 7. I never really found all that great of information from maps, so you can skip that one. If you want to use it as your primary source, that's fine. All right. So looking at document B for an example, go ahead and take a look at this note. The note is going to be the background. It's going to put it into context, and it's going to make that primary source make way more sense, okay, I promise. So this is coming from a Greek philosopher who lived 400 years after the time of Alexander. So we already know this guy is Greek, and he didn't even know Alexander personally because it was 400 years later. Okay, so we can already kind of predict that this guy is going to make Alexander seem great or write about his greatness. All right, so he wrote about Alexander's reign. He talked about Alexander's last major battle, where he fought against a prince named Porus on the eastern bank of a river in India. He was so impressed with Porus's bravery that Alexander allowed him to retain administrative rule after the Indians' defeat. Okay, so we can already kind of think of maybe this is going to go in the greatness column because it makes Alexander sound good. Like, oh, look how kind and gracious he was. He was allowing this guy that he beat to like remain in charge after he was defeated. Okay, so you can go ahead and kind of read through this primary source. And if you see anything great that he did, or if you can kind of like get the main idea from this primary source about how he was great, go ahead and write it in the greatness column. You don't have to read through each and every primary source, just so that way you have enough things in your greatness column and not so great column. You'll notice at the end of the document or the primary source, there's like a document analysis questions. You don't have to worry about that. Just worry about reading the primary sources and identify ways that he's great and not so great. When you're finished, you're going to go ahead and go to this Padlet and you're going to make 2 Padlet posts. One with the title hashtag Alexander the Great, one with the title hashtag Alexander the Not So Great. Okay, so you're going to go ahead and make those two different titles. You're going to summarize why he wasn't so great and summarize why he was great. Make sure you put your name at the end. And then if you want to look through, this is going to be everybody that I have in World Studies, and you want to give them like a little heart, a little like, you can go ahead and do so. Good luck, guys.